get started. So like I said, this morning, I'm going to talk about multiple offer situations. I want to hopefully touch on both sides, from the buying side, how we win them, tips and tricks on how to win them. And I'd love for your guys' input back as well. If you have any additions to make to it, we can all put it together and give each other some good ideas on how to win these bidding wars and what's going on. But then also I want to talk a little bit about compliancy, what we have to do for when we're running the bid war situation, like from the listing side. So we'll get started today. So what's the biggest problem everybody's having right now with the bidding wars?
Winning them,
period, right? No matter what. I think that winning them is always been a problem, right? Yes. VG, what's your
fixing the price?
Fixing the price, right?
The problem.
Absolutely. So winning them is difficult, right? But I find it's really hard to explain to our buyers right now and our sellers. It's difficult, but it's hard to explain to my buyers right now why they have to bid so aggressively. And even then they're losing and they're getting really confused, right? They're like, what's going on? Why did I lose when I put $250,000 over asking, right? So I think it's a really difficult time for us to work with our buyers. Like I say, I miss the days wherein you just negotiate back and forth over a couple of days. Then you do your home inspection, then your financing will come through and you close the deal. And now when I work with a buyer, I have to show them 10 houses or 8 houses or whatever. They pick one. We lose the bid situation, we're back to square one again. So it's a difficult market for us to work in. Everyone says it's gotten easier now because we have e-signature and we don't have to run around and get signatures and, realtor's life's so easy peasy now, but it's not. It's actually more difficult right now, I think. I think we're doing a lot more groundwork. We're out a lot more with our clients, right?
COVID has also created issues.
Yeah.
You're not able to send people flowers or get if you want to tip the seller into your direction, you can't even be nice to them and talk to them in person really and stuff. So
it's very difficult.
You can't drop by and be like, oh hey, we'd love to work with you or something. You can't, they're gonna be like, COVID.
Door knocking's been difficult, which is one of my favorite things to do to pick up business.
3-4 months maybe, for even one client, 10 house showing.
Yeah.
1 week Friday. Offer 40 offer.
40
offer for us. 3-4 months of free work.
Yeah, 3-4 months free work. Exactly. That's just it, right? And 40 offers is really intimidating, right? It's intimidating when there's 8 offers. So last night,
Groveness,
yeah,
right around the corner, 63 offers.
Right. I know. I've been seeing some of these things go up on our chats. 63 offers. Can you imagine having to review 63 offers? The most I ever got for a bid situation, I think, was 30, and that was a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Basically, you just have to take all the crap, put it aside, kind of tell your client, okay, brief synopsis of everything that's happening here. Here's the middle, here's the top. What do you want to do? You want to go back to everybody and review everything again, pick top 10, do whatever you like, so it's very difficult, very, very difficult. That's okay.
Why don't the government say stop? Anybody has a primary resident, one house.
Yeah.
Maximum kids, 2 houses, but not 3, 4, or 5 houses. So the people watching, they don't have the rent house. One is no light, nothing, and all the prayers pro. People thinking, oh, I don't have the house. Those people, free house, they are empty house.
Yeah.
All frustration.
Yeah.
Only one thing, this one. Come say, stop. One house with 2-3 kids, okay, maybe second house.
Yeah.
Not 3, 4, 5 houses.
Yeah.
Stop.
I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to cap people like that, right? So it's difficult, definitely. Anyways,
it's something, but this way it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's definitely a difficult situation.
Peter, I will take line of credit thing now. Peter, the price going down.
Yeah.
Start everything power of sale. I mean, not right away. They are an investor.
Yeah.
Line of credit say 1 million, and then they give 800,000, 20% down, pay 800,000.
Right.
Then the bank give again 100,000. Then future the value going down, they then we start problem.
It's true. It's true.
I'm just telling my feeling.
No, for sure. It's good. It's good to know. I'm just setting up my thing here to start going over my document. So it's true, though. I think it's going to be difficult for them to mandate for sure. Right.
They're living with the property.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start with our listing end of things because I think it's important to avoid any RICO complaints and make sure we know what we're doing and that we're being fair. And I get a lot of these questions in the office, like, I got an offer, what do I do now? Or, oh, I accepted an offer last night and I realized that you guys aren't following protocol. And we can get into a pretty sticky situation if we don't follow written direction and stuff like that as per RICO, right? So RICO, if you go on their website, this is pulled right off their website. I'm just going to go over what they expect from us when it comes to multiple offer situations, right? So they say that we have to convey an offer to our clients and customers as soon as reasonably possible, unless you receive very clear written direction to do otherwise. So a lot of these people say no preemptive offers. That can't be a decision made on your part. It has to be a decision that's been discussed with your seller, and you have to have written direction to do so, right? I've talked to a lot of listing agents where they say, oh, well, you know, I got a really low ball offer the other day, but I'm not even going to present it to my client because I'm going to wait for the bid date. It's not your decision at the end of the day, and you will get into trouble for that. And I have seen situations arise. What I normally do is, even if my clients have written and are told me, no, I don't want to see anything till bid date, we're not doing anything preemptively, I still, if I receive something in the email, always quickly text or run it by them, quickly email, just forward to them saying, hey, you don't have to review, but got a low ball offer today, even though I told the guy no bully offers, here's what I got, right? Yeah. You always have to keep some sort of paper trail for yourself, because you never know what happens at the end of the day. Whenever a situation turns sour, your clients may turn on you, which kind of sucks, but it does happen. It's the reality of it. So you have to make sure that you're just following direction from your client and that everything sort of has a paper trail. So even though my client says, no, I don't want to see anything, I'll shoot a quick email or text and I'll say, hey, got a lowball offer. Here's the price, you know, just letting you know, right? I know we're not doing anything till bid date, but I'm just letting you know, keeping you in the loop, right? So we have to explain the pros and cons to our clients of having an offer presentation day for their property, right? We have to let them know the specific time and date, right? And we have to be in agreement with them on this, right? We can't just pick these willy-nilly on our own. So again, you don't necessarily have to have any documents signed by them, but some sort of thing saying, oh, okay, you know, normally when I load the listing, I say, here's the MLS listing. Take note, we set a bid date for February 6th as discussed, 6 p.m. This is what the agents all can see on our side, right? So it's a good idea to do that. We have to let them know the options for handling any preemptive offers. So like we discussed, are you going to review them? Do you want to see them? Am I going to tell everybody who asks me if I'm taking one that you're not going to accept any before bid date? You have to let me know what the situation is. Keep in mind, it's always seller's direction at the end of the day. So if you do anything against what your seller says, that's where you get into trouble with RICO. So even if your clients say, no, I'm not going to look at anything before a bid date, if I have the property listed and I get a phenomenal offer, and I just say to them, hey, I know we're not looking at anything until bid date, but I got this crazy good offer, and I send it to them, they can change their instructions in the middle of everything and decide to accept that offer or to work with that offer, even though they've told you, no, we're going to do a bid date for February 6th. So keep in mind, it's always seller's direction, always your seller's choice. And you have to make sure that wherever actions you're taking, they're going to back up that you did corroborate that with them and you have it in writing somewhere, right? So our obligation to convey offers. The law is clear. As a registrant, you must convey an offer to your client as soon as possible. An exception arises if your client is given clear, detailed, and express written direction to do otherwise. A client may want to delay their consideration of offers to a specific time and date, typically as part of a marketing strategy to set the stage for multiple offers. We know it's happening. It's kind of a flip market right now where there's nothing that you come across that doesn't have a bid date attached to it, right? So pros and cons. Pros, this strategy may generate increased interest in their property and potentially multiple offers. Of course it is, especially right now with low inventory. It's a no-brainer, but your clients might not understand the reason you're doing it. I find very often my clients say to me, oh my God, no, I don't want to list so low. Why would we list at $7.99? So I try to explain to them, if you list below market value, you're going to end up at market value, right? Generally the rule of thumb, things are kind of going crazy and over that right now. If you list at market value, you're going to stay the days on market that Treb says is the average right now. right? If you list above, you're going to be on the market longer, right? So I have an example. I was going to list my Oshawa property I had there, I guess about a month ago now. I was going to list it $7.99. I'd signed documents and everything with my client, $7.99. They said, give me the weekend and we're going to list. By the time Monday came to list, 5 doors down listed at $5.99. So I called my clients real quick and I said, I want to list at $5.99. They said $5.99. Why? Oh my God, we said $7.99. They wanted about $9.40 for their property back then, right? About a month and a half ago. So I said to them, I said, you got to get out of your head out of the game saying the starting price. I go, we could list for $1. I said, but I'm going to tell you the strategy. The strategy is if I list at $7.99, he lists at $5.99, he's going to get shown more. I can guarantee it. I said, so please just, trust me. We'll change the price. We'll both list at the same price. Both are 5 doors from each other. I can guarantee you any showings he gets, we'll get, any showings we get, they'll get. Everybody, you'll see the 2 properties pretty similar, side by side. And right enough, they did get there. I believe they got it higher than 940. But anyways, the strategy you have to explain to your clients, you have to walk them through the process because it's scary. They don't necessarily get in their mind that, what the starting price isn't anything that we're going for, right? So it makes them nervous. Even last night in my bid situation, I was dealing with an elderly couple up north there, and they just didn't understand. What do you mean we're bidding $240,000 over asking? I was crazy to them. And then when we lost, right, I said to them, see, it's a very aggressive market. You just have to walk them through the process. We take for granted that we're part of doing this every single day, and it's just natural to us. And we see these low numbers and we don't even pay in mind that we're going to get anywhere close to that listed price, right? So cons, your client runs the risk of losing out on an attractive offer from a buyer who is not inclined to wait for a specific time. So we all have these guys who call us and they say, oh, my client, they really don't want to entertain a preemptive offer. So, can you take a bully offer from us? So the risk they run that they say, if no preemptive offers, I want to wait till bid date, is that they won't get that client who might have a good offer, but doesn't want to be stuck in the multiple offer situation, right? What do you have to do when you get an offer on your property? The second you get an offer on your property, you have to page it out to all agents immediately, right? Because this is a huge thing. If 5 people have shown the property, you get a bully offer on Thursday, your bid date's not till Monday. They've printed that MLS copy that says the bid date's Monday. So you can go in and change the instructions, which you're also supposed to do. You're supposed to go into your MLS listing or call the front desk and say, please go change my offer instructions. We're no longer presenting on Monday. We're presenting tonight, Thursday at 5 p.m. I received an offer a few hours ago, but you have to page it out to everybody who's booked an appointment, who's shown or not shown the property. So even if you have showings booked for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all those agents need to be given a fair chance because they've shown interest in the property. So as per RICO, if they booked an appointment, they've shown interest on the property and you don't notify them, you can't say, well, their showing wasn't until Saturday, they haven't seen it yet, right? They have to be given the opportunity to bump their appointment up, to come in and see it, blind offer, whatever they want to do, cancel their appointment, but it has to be their choice. They've shown interest in the property, they have to be paged, right? How much information do you want about any preemptive offers that come in? So you can ask your clients this. Do you want to be notified? Do you want to know the details of it? Do you want to consider all offers you get? Only consider the ones above a certain price. They might say, don't show me anything unless it's over 1.4 million, or not to be informed about any preemptive offers at all. Like I say, the best course of action, even though my clients say, don't show it to me, don't show it to me, I always at least mention it via text, even if I don't want to formally email them and let them read over it and disturb them. Always be safe. Always send your clients a quick text or an email. Okay.
You mean the offer paging all other showing people, like whatever offer we have, send them on behalf?
No, you don't have to send your 801. You don't have to send any information. Don't give any information to any of the other agents. You just have no price, nothing. Don't give them any information. Because even if I say to them, even if I don't give them a price, I say Basker sent me, you're going to get bombarded with calls now from agents saying, hey, what did you offer? And some agents will work together. Well, I offered this, then you offer this, and you won't end up with such a high price, right? You don't want to let them know any information about, right? And I'll talk about that now, about winning a bid war. I'll focus more on winning a bid war. But I just wanted to go over these compliance issues with RICO that we're coming across, right? Okay, so you have to changes in direction. So I mentioned if you change your bid date, you have to go into your brokerage remarks and change the directions in your MLS listing. If you decided to change your bid date from the coming Monday and you've got an offer now and you want to discuss it on Thursday with your client, you have to. And you have to notify everybody, right? Everybody keep a file, whether it's on your computer or an actual file. I can't tell you the amount of times I've dealt with RICO complaints because I've just written a million responses for everybody who's ever had a complaint at the old office, even at the new office. Keep your 801s, keep your agreement of purchase and sales from every agent, even if you get 30. I know it's going to be a big fat file, but scan it into your computer or something, put it somewhere convenient, you can grab it, because RICO is going to ask for them. If you get, and you'll always get somebody bad, even if you've done nothing wrong. I had a listing a few years ago at Brimley and Eglinton on Shediac, and I sold that property. And I had one of those situations where my client decided to take $10,000 less offer because the higher offer guys wanted to flip the property and the lower offer guys were a family, and it was an old guy. He had brought his family up there. He'd lived there for 45 years or whatever it was. And he wanted to give it to the family because he said, it's a nice family neighborhood. I brought my kids up here. I'm going to take 10 less and give it to the family. Right. Because their agent had come in and given a nice story how it's a family that wanted to move in and everything. Well, anyways, long story short, the guy who lost and had a $10,000 more bid put in a RICO complaint about me. As long as you have your seller's direction, you're not going against what your seller's saying, and you have all your 801s and your agreement of purchase and sale, and you can show that you gave fair chance to everybody, then you'll be fine. So keep all your paperwork very carefully, all your 801s, everything together. The other thing I wanted to mention before I start on the opposite side, the buying side, is that you have to be very clear in your instructions to the agents how you're going to run the bid situation. So you have to discuss with your client, your seller, and say, do you want to get all the offers and just pick one, right? Or do you want to get all the offers and give everybody a chance to approve? If we give everybody a chance to improve, are we going to pick from that second round? Or are we going to keep on going sort of to the death? You know what I mean? Whoever, how long do you want this offer situation to last during the night? Because that has to be clearly explained to everybody, all the agents who have offers in. Not only that, if you, Baskerang, for instance, come along and give me an offer and you say, look, I know my clients can't do more than 1.4 and the other guys are pretty close in my price, but I'm going to take 2% commission instead of 2.5. Okay. You have to disclose that. You don't have to disclose the amount. So just like the purchase price, but that is something you have to disclose. You have to disclose that there has been a commission adjustment or a commission, somebody has adjusted the commission to win this bid situation. Okay. That was part of the problem with the RICO complaint I had from Brimley and Eglinton on Shediac. There was the guy figured that because we sold it for 10 less, that agent had taken a commission reduction or something like that. And it wasn't the case. It simply wasn't the case. It just, it was seller's choice. So yeah, just be very careful what you do. If you're not sure what to do, call me or text me. Call Vahisen or text, call somebody and just say, hey, I got an offer for my property, or I'm in the middle of my bidding situation. I'm not really sure. It's way better to spend a couple minutes on the phone, sidetrack with us, than getting a RICO complaint and having to deal with it, because you have to respond and write back and it takes a lot of time, right? Everybody following along so far? Everybody good online here? Has anybody had a sticky situation where either you felt you were treated unfairly from the buyer side because the listing agent didn't run the bid situation properly, or you had somebody upset with you the way you ran the bidding situation? Any real life drama gone on? No? All right. I'm sure you guys have. You're welcome to discuss with me at any time, but we can always fix the problem. Like I say, if you're in the middle of a situation, you don't know what to do, just give me a shout and I can help you guys out what to do. Okay, so I hope you guys can see this. I'm going to stop my share and come back just to make sure. I'm going to talk about the buying side. So this is the most frustrating side for us right now, isn't it? So here I am, like I said, laughingly with you guys, thinking I'm coming to talk about winning multiple bid situation, a bidding war, and I lost two last night. And I'll tell you what the reason is, because I know that I'm pretty good at winning them now. from the beginning, which is why I sort of made this a topic, one of my training topics. The market is crazy. I've never seen it. Like, I've turned to some of my clients and seen prices go way over what I evaluated what the properties are like. And I told them to their face, I said, I wouldn't have told you to pay that. As a responsible agent to you, I wouldn't have told you to pay that. But people, just because the inventory is so low, it's pushing people past what the actual, what I feel the true market value is right now. About 3 weeks ago, I put in an offer for my client. I forget the exact prices off the top of my head, but say this condo had sold for $560. And the condo that had sold was in much better condition, really nicely renovated, more than my clients, the one that my clients were looking at. And I said, it's the same square footage. This one just sold last week. It sold $560. I said, the market is pretty crazy. It might come close to that. But the other one they were looking at was in much poorer condition, right? It definitely wasn't as renovated, and it definitely was dated, right? And I thought, oh, well, it's not going to go. The inventory is so crazy right now. It went for $590, say, 30,000 over, or $890, or whatever the case may be. I know it was a 60 and a 90, right? So it was about $30,000 difference. I told my clients, I said, there's no way I would tell you to pay so much more than the one that was fully renovated. So I guess right now in this market, it's not making sense. I guess my first piece of advice is, if your client really, really wants it, go with the old, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 doesn't mean a whole lot in your monthly mortgage payment. If they're pre-approved for it, just throw it in and land the property right now, because everything's just snowballing and kind of not making a little bit of sense. And it is difficult to win bidding wars right now. What are different situations that you can do? What are different tricks and tips that you can do to win a bid situation, right? So definitely first thing you have to know is your client's budget. You cannot go all willy-nilly with them and get caught up in the excitement of a bidding war and say to them, you know what, like, I think it's going to go way over. He said, oh, all the other offers were at least 100,000 over ours. So part of the reason I lost one of the bidding wars last night is because I had to kind of stick to my client's budget. We had said their max was 1.1, and we went 40,000 over that comfortably after talking numbers and making sure they could handle that extra 40. But there's no way, I'm waiting to see what it posts today. If it went for 1.3, there's no way I could have pushed my clients to do that. Don't get them in a situation where they can't close, right? You also have to be mindful of not getting them into a situation where you're overbidding and they're getting really excited and they really want it because it's next door to their cousin or something, and they really want this neighborhood. And I don't care if you tell me the neighborhood is only sold 1.2, I want to pay 1.35 for that property, right? You have to be able to explain to your clients, this is no problem. We can give 1.35 for this property, but because I told you the values of the property in the neighborhood are only 1.2, right? If the appraisal only comes in at 1.2, you're going to be responsible for a $150,000 gap now. Do you have the funds to make up? And if they do, then you can bid on it, but you have to be educating your clients all along. Your goal is to win the bidding war for your client, but your goal is also to nurture that client and make sure that they're making sane decisions, because you're doing your due diligence for them. Basically, you're making sure that they can cover, that their mortgage is going to cover it, and then they have enough funds to cover and close. No point in selling 1 million properties if you're not closing them, right? Nobody gets paid that way. Okay, teamwork makes the dream work. Always have good people in your roster you can call, right? So now I know during this time, we don't have time to put in conditional on home inspection, okay? No, those home inspectors out there, they all know they're not sitting here, not doing anything, not making any income, right? A lot of them have converted and are doing walkthroughs during your half-hour or hour appointment that you're getting for the property, and you pay them not as much as a full home inspection, but you pay them and they'll do walkthrough inspections with you. So if your client is really nervous about something but they really want to bid on the property, book a second viewing before the bid date, walk through and introduce them to one of your home inspectors so you can walk through and get a quick opinion, and they can say, I was concerned about this crack in the wall, or I was concerned about this flooring here, or do you think that this plumbing is going to be a big job, whatever their concern was, just to alleviate and get a professional opinion on it, because we're not professionals. we walk through properties every day and we can kind of pick out, you know, if there's a problem with the foundation or if the roof needs to be done soon, but we're not professionals. So it definitely helps to do that. Another part of your team is a good mortgage agent. So I'm constantly blowing up my mortgage guys' phones that I'm talking to all the time. And I called one of them last night in the middle of the situation. And I said, you know, if they go ahead with this, do you think we can close this? And kind of working the numbers on the phone with them and with my clients. So we're at ease when we're putting in these firm offer situations. Because like I say, we know that the offers that are conditional on financing, conditional on anything right now aren't getting accepted. We know if we go in with that, we're already out of the bid war. Nobody's going to accept that offer right now, right? Lawyers, we want to be able to call lawyers for different reasons. So I have a property I'm working on right now. Long story short, titles have merged. I wanted to advice on how they're going to be able to close it, if we're going to be able to close it, how we're going to structure it before we firmed up our deal, right? So you need to have a good team, a good roster of people. It's your lifeline as a real estate agent, and you have to know the people that you like to work with, right? You don't want to be sending your clients to people who, you know, don't answer the phone or abrupt or rude. You want the people that are, you know, you're confident to send your clients to, they're capable of doing the work, and that they'll like give your clients good customer service, right? Have your pre-approval form ready. So lots of people like to see pre-approval. This isn't always possible. I don't do it this often, but this is kind of just going back, circling back to saying, you can vouch for your client when you're in the bid situation. You can say, I personally spoke to their mortgage agent. I know that they're pre-approved. I know that they're refining their house. I know they have enough down payment. You know, give that listing agent sort of the confidence that they can relay to their sellers to make them accept your deal over others, right? Consider waiving contingency clauses. So this is what we were just talking about. It's a no-brainer. There's no way we're putting in anything with clauses for financing, inspections, certainly not on the sale of the home. Status certificates, they're ordering them ahead of time now. So if you're doing an offer on a condo, you can very often call the listing agent and ask for that status certificate ahead of time. Usually it wouldn't be something that we get for any newer agents there. I don't know who hasn't done any condo deals yet. It wouldn't be something we get until we have a sold conditional situation. Then we get it and we have 10 days to review. But a lot of people have it ready before they even put the listing up, because they know it's only going to be up for the week before the bid date. You can ask for that status certificate ahead of time, give it to your clients. They'll have time to review it before they go in firm on the offer, right? We were talking about status. I just thought of something and it went right out of my mind while I was talking about status certificates. Status certificates, home inspections, financing. Oh, I know what it was. So with the home inspections, very often too, you want to call that listing agent, because they don't always put it in the listing. Sometimes they mention it. You want to call and see if they have a pre-list inspection. So again, home inspectors have created this pre-list inspection now, because they know that a lot of people aren't getting home inspections these days. We don't have that 5-day condition, 5-day home inspection clause in there. So what they do is they do a full inspection for the seller on the seller's behalf, and that booklet or PDF is available for your clients to review. So they're aware going in, oh yeah, no, the roof's 12 years old. It might need to be done in the next few years. It was only a 15-year shingle. Or, you know, that don't worry about that patch in the basement. It was inspected, it's dry. It was a leak that happened 10 years ago. You know, you can, different things you can go over with your clients, and it just puts their mind more at ease, because it's very scary for them when you tell them you can't do a home inspection. Sorry, you can't have a financing condition. Sorry, you can't waive the status certificate. You can't put the condition in for the status certificate. It's really difficult for them to go and wrap their mind around it, especially when everything is over $1 million now, right? So it's a scary situation. You have to like definitely get your clients prepared for it. Get your checkbook ready. This is my favorite thing to do lately. Right before I came here, I had a situation where I had sold, I don't know, it was 1.4, say, property in Markham. And my clients had someone sitting in the driveway, because we were, you know, the guy was pretty aggressive and he had his check there. And he said, oh, you know, I have my check. But we had another agent on the phone who was relaying things back and forth via email. And she had, I think, 10,000 higher. It was kind of a $10,000, $15,000 gap. And I said to them, I said, you know, we're talking 1.4 here now, $10,000, not a big deal. He's sitting here with the deposit. And they said, no, we're gonna go with it. I said, okay, just so you're aware, if she doesn't bring it, then I guarantee you this guy will come back with less. Right enough, the next day, I'm waiting. I'm not getting a deposit check. I finally get in touch with the agent at about 2 o'clock. She says, yeah, my clients are backing out. They're not bringing the deposit check. So I called this guy. He said, no problem. I'm coming right now with my deposit check. I still have it in my hands. He came flying over, gave me the deposit check, but he had an offer for 10,000 less. So not only did they end up taking it for 10,000 less when he was in the driveway, they're ending up with 20,000 less than what they were accepting. Right? So you got to explain to your clients that having a check is important. From the buyer's side, I always tell them, they go, what do you mean you want me to create a check for 50,000? I go, no, it's okay. I go, it's $6, $10 to create a draft from your bank. Create it, put the listing brokerage name on it. If you present it, even though everything is COVID now, and you're not really doing things in person, I take a picture, I scan it into my email, and I send it along with my offer. So they see, I say, if we get this offer done, I will give you the check this evening. I will drive to wherever you are and give you the check this evening. So there's not the fear of them, oh my goodness, I'm going to lose all 18 other offers I have. This person has the check right here. I'm going to tell my client, take the 5 or 10 or 15 less right now, because I can get the check, because the person with the 15 higher does not have the check in hand. There's a possibility they won't show up the next day. All right. So it's a good tactic to win the bidding war with your client if you have that draft or certified check in your hand. Right. And then if they lose, all they do is they deposit it back in their account the next day, and they wasted $6 or $10, but it's a small price to pay to try and win that for them. Right. I said it makes you look serious when you have the check ready, that you're serious. You want to lock and close this deal down. Sorry, did you have a question?
$1 million house.
Yeah.
That people bring the check. So what is the minimum they're looking like 5,000?
No. I always tell my clients 5% the purchase price.
5%.
Yeah, because ideally
it's a serious.
It's a serious thing, right? But ideally, the reason brokerages look for 5% is because they want to cover the commissions, right? Because then it's less wait time. Because if I only put $5,000 or $10,000 in, and the commissions are like $50,000 on the deal, I have to wait for the rest of those funds to come from the lawyer's office.
Yeah.
Not only that, if something goes wrong, like my appraisal comes in 40,000 less, if I only gave you a $5,000 deposit, I'm more likely to walk away from this deal, right? It has to be a substantial amount, enough that when you put it in, you're not going to walk away from that deal. It's to hold the agreement in place at the brokerage, basically, right? So twofold. It should be enough that they feel secure, that you're not going to walk away from it, and it should be enough to cover the commissions. Now, we know the listing side is always reducing a little bit, but I always tell my clients to give me 5%. Yeah, generally. All right. Equip yourself with an escalation clause. So they don't really allow these necessarily, because if I put an escalation clause saying that no matter what, I'm going to give you $20,000 more than the highest offer, call me at the end of the night. Okay. Now I will always say this to the listing agent. Okay. I will tell them, call me. I definitely don't close this up. Don't pick a person without me. My clients are very serious. We're willing to beat the top one. Just let me know what it is, right? At the end of the day, they're technically not allowed to run it this way as per RICO, especially since multiple offer situations have become so common. RICO did put up that article that I was going over with you guys just now on their website, so we know the rules. So this was something people were writing in a lot. Now we don't necessarily put this in as writing. I'm not saying not to use it. It's definitely still a tactic. You just don't put it in writing, because he'll just cross it out. He'll think you're nuts. He'll go, I can't run it that way because I'm supposed to equally give everybody the same amount of rounds. And if I, give everybody the same amount of rounds, and then Baskrin, you say, oh, just come to me last. That's one extra round I've given you to give me 10,000 extra. RICO will kill you for that, right? As a listing agent. But if you can get a listing agent to give you the offer like that, and you just verbally have a conversation with them, and they're on your side, why not? I can say, listen, my clients really want this property. You know what I mean? Just let me know at the end. And even sometimes when we've lost the situation. So I've had, in Pickering, I bought a property for friends of the family, and they called us and they said we lost. We were sitting in the car. So the wife was crying and he says, call them right back now and tell them we'll give them 10,000 more, whatever it's 10, 15, I can't remember exact numbers. And I said, okay, but I think that they've already called. So I called the listing agent. I said, did you call the person who won yet? No, I'm calling all the people who didn't first. And I said, okay, great. I said, scratch that. My clients want to give you 15,000 more right now. Right. And we ended up winning the house and they still live there a long, long time later. This is like years and years ago. And so we always laugh about that story, how she was crying in the car and we called them back. Right. So an escalation clause or an escalation at the end, even after when you're being told that you've lost the bid situation, is definitely a tactic you can try. It's worked. It doesn't always work, but I'm just sort of throwing you guys out all the little tips and tricks that I find have worked for me in the past, so you guys can try and win and help it out. So don't skip the inspection. That's not happening right now, so we're not even going to go over that. Establish a personal connection with the seller. So how many of you tried writing a letter for your sellers? Right? I have several letters on the go right now, trying to encourage people. Again, tough market, okay, because people are going for the dollar value now. So many people are cashing out because they see the crazy market we're in and the increased value. And I even last night, I told my clients, they said, oh, tell them about, we have elderly parents and this and that. And I said, I can tell them. I said, but I checked title and this person just bought in 2020. I can guarantee you if they're selling a year and a half later, they're just cashing out. They just want to see the money because they've seen the market. They want to take advantage of this market. So I warned my clients it was going to be about the dollar value. But you never know. Like if you run into situations like my Brimley client who gave it to the family for 10,000 less, sometimes a story will help. If his agent had just come and presented the offer and didn't tell us that it was a lovely family with young children, then my seller wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have given it to them, and the person who's 10,000 higher would have won. So don't discount the fact that it may work. I always give a blurb. Aside from personal connection or sob stories, or they're a lovely family or an elderly couple, I try to give the listing agent some confidence in my clients. So when I send that offer, I say, here's my offer. My clients are pre-approved. Their financing is in good working order. They have ample down payment. Give a little confidence to the listing agent because they want to see how strong. The last thing we want to do is pick 1 out of 18 and then have that deal not close because it was a poor buyer that came in. So they want to see the confidence. They want to see that your client's worth and that they're coming in with a strong offer, right? Offer earnest money. So good faith or earnest money is when a buyer puts down a portion of the deposit in good faith. This is like the same as kind of coming with the deposit in hand, right? You have to recognize that the seller has control, right? If you want the house, accept this fact and plan to make yourself as flexible to their demands as possible. So if they're saying, we absolutely want a closing date of February 4th, and your clients are saying, no, we can't, we don't close until February 20th, right? You have to just have a real discussion with your clients. Well, if you really want this house and you're really getting a good price for it, or you're about to win this bidding war situation, is there 6 days worth of a, Airbnb stay? Is there family you could stay with? Is there something you could do? You have to try to make it as flexible because maybe that seller will pick a lesser offer because you're not agreeing with my closing date. And now I don't want to accept your offer anymore, right? Even though I was leaning towards it. So you have to accept that you're not the one making the decision on it, right? And I think as a buyer, you have to be prepared to be a little bit flexible, right? Forget about the asking price. So this is something like I touched on briefly when I was talking about the listing side. You have to explain to our clients about that asking price. Nobody gets it. I've been telling all my buyers who send me MLS listings off of realtor.ca, oh, I like this one and I like this one and I like this one. And I say, okay, reality check, guys. If you're looking at a property and you want something under $1 million, you can't be looking at properties listed at $999 and $899. Absolutely everything is set for a bid date and it's going hundreds of thousands of dollars over asking. So you have to educate your clients. I say, look way under budget and tell me what you like, right? I go, you can ask me about certain things, but I go, I guarantee you 99.999% of the things listed online right now have a bid date set, right? Don't get caught up in winning a bidding war at all costs, okay? So last night I had some sad clients. One of the clients didn't care because they threw a bid in for the one bid I lost. They were a one-timer. They said, we're not increasing. We have a few others we're interested in. If we don't get this one, we'll try another one. Okay, great. The other ones were kind of sad, right? But I pre-warned them. I said, before I send this for second round, it's second and final round. I said, this is a number you're going to throw in. We're not going to cry about it tomorrow, even if we lost by $1, right? I said, this is your max, right? Because they can't come back to me then and say, oh, you know what? I would have put in 10,000 more, because I had that conversation. I go, if you have any more, if you want to push it at all, if there's any more budget, now's the time to put it. Don't tell me tomorrow you had $10,000 more to put in. Okay. But also don't get caught up in winning at all costs, right? Because you can't go, like we discussed, over budget. Can't go over appraised value unless you have the money to make it up. So a lot of people don't get this concept. We have to explain to our clients, listen, if your appraisal doesn't come, your appraised value doesn't come in, you have to make up that money in the end. So you have to be able to explain that to them. Think of the monthly money involved rather than the big number. So this is what I was explaining too. I often tell my clients, look, they're going to go 40,000 more. No way. So last night, my clients, you know, they were 1.1. We're not going over 1.1. And I had a good discussion with them. I said, you know, $20,000 in your mortgage really only makes about a $5 monthly payment at the interest rates right now, maybe $5 a month. When you break it down to pennies for them, they understand a little more. Because when you say, look, put $40,000 more, their head explodes. They go, oh my God, you want me to put how much more? But then when you put it into the realm of, oh, it's only going to cost me $10, $10 is not a big deal. Okay, put the extra 40 in, right? And you have to explain it. I mean, these are elderly people I was dealing with last night. Just a price that's going over $1 million is insane to them. They're thinking, why? We're dealing at 1.1. That's crazy, right? So you have to just have a little perspective, I guess, for your clients and break it down for them. You may only get one chance. So just as it's our responsibility to say to all the agents coming in when we're a listing agent, here's how it's going to go. I'm only going to have 2 rounds. I'm only going to give 1 chance for improvement. You have to ask these questions to the agent. So my tips are, I always call and ask, hi, how are you? I'm going to put in an offer. How many, you know, are you going to have multiple rounds? Is it a one and done situation? What's going to happen? Okay. Then once I send in my offer and she has a chance to review them all, I always call and say, did you get my offer? Did you receive my offer? Great. Now, remember, they're not allowed to discuss numbers, but we could ask pointed questions. Okay. So some of my favorite pointed questions that I ask to try and figure out where I fit in the puzzle is, am I in the top 3? And they go, yeah. Am I in the top 2? They don't always answer that. How far behind am I from first position? Right? Is it a big amount? Is it a large amount? You know what I mean? Is the first person who's in first place an aggressive offer, right? The other thing I like to do is I like to say you have to register the offer by 5. They're presenting at 6. Please don't send your offer at noon. It's a big newbie mistake. That listing agent, if they're a smart agent, is going to use your offer against you. So if you send them an offer at 12, you're doing them a big favor, because now they can say, I already got an offer. Oh no, you better send me something strong because I already have an offer that's over $1 million. They don't have to say the price, but they can make all those other offers coming in beat you automatically. You've blindly lost, right? So I very often, if it's register at 5, my offer is going in literally at like 4:55, 5 o'clock. Sometimes I'm even late. You know what I mean? Just if they're not presenting till 6, because they give themselves that hour buffer to do the same thing. Make sure you're sending it in late. It's like a poker game. You have to hide your cards, right? To the last minute. So you're sending in that offer late. And then when you send it in, you want to pick their brain of where you're fitting in the bunch, right? And so they can't say, oh yeah, no, this other person put in $1 million and you only put $999, but they can give you an idea. Are my top 3? How aggressive is it? Even second round, you can do the same thing. Last night I was asking questions at second round. I waited till everybody else put it in because he said, I think register second round by 7:30 or 8 o'clock or something. And I was waiting to the last minute because I wanted to call him back until he had some in his hand so I could discuss them with him, because I want to use everybody's offer against them. I want to say, is their second round aggressive? Did they come up really quite a bit? Are you getting a really good second round? What's happening? You want to keep in touch with that listing agent to find out what's happening and find out where you're fitting in the mix and how aggressive those other offers are against you, right? Don't get emotionally attached. This is a hard one. Like, even though I warned my clients last night, I said, listen, you know, even if we lose by $1 tomorrow, you can't cry about it. This is your max. They're still a little sad, right? It's hard for them. But you have to just be like, onward and upward. We'll find some more. We'll go and we'll get another one. It's bad if they get emotionally attached, because that's what's definitely goes to overbidding and them paying and then the appraisal not coming in. So you got to watch. It's a sticky situation, right? Reduce the seller's risks in picking your offer. So we talked about firm offer, again, helping your offer when you're telling the listing agent, oh yeah, my client's pre-approved, we have enough. We already talked about that. Mitigate your risks by taking care of business before the offer. So if you were planning on having a financing condition, I told you we talked to the mortgage agent ahead of time. If you're planning on having a home inspection condition, do a second walkthrough with that home inspector. Put your client's mind at ease, right? Be ready with the deposit. We talked about that. All right, strategize. I guess you can touch on that a little bit. If you know your client's max is 1.1, which I did last night, and I knew there was going to be 2 rounds, I told them, put it in $1,050,000. We went in $1,050,000 our first round. So it looks like we're improving. And also I'm kind of holding it down a little bit for the final round, because I don't want that guy to say, well, you know, first round, I already got 1.1. So you guys all have to come higher, because I know that I'm going to be beat already for second round if he does that. So you have to strategize a little. Each situation is different. Let me just stop the share and come back to you guys. I feel like I've been talking your ear off forever, but I wanted to squeeze it all in. The time goes so fast. Yeah, if you guys are in this middle of a situation, whether from the listing side or the buying side, call me if you want a few tips, or if you just want to tell me the situation real quick and I can listen and give you what I think is my best advice and hopefully help you win it. But definitely a difficult market to be working in right now with our buyers. I think it's a little tricky to navigate. You know, I always say to my new buyers, any new buyers I'm picking up now, you know, we might have to, you know, put in offers for 2 or 3 houses before we win one, sometimes 5. You know, I've done as many as 5, 6 for some clients. So you have to prepare them, because they do get emotionally attached, especially when they find one that they love. So it's difficult, but hopefully some of those tips and tricks will help you win a bidding war this week, guys. Next week, this week, you're going to practice it, put in an offer and try some of the tips and tricks. Is there anything you guys are doing different, or anything you guys want to add to that you want to share with everybody? Something that's helped you win a bidding war? Well, hopefully you guys will win some bidding wars this week, or you'll get a really, like, 62 offers for your listing, right? I can't believe that when they were putting it up in the family chats, to see that there was like 50 and 60 offers happening. Can you imagine going through 62 offers? That would be like half the night, like, you know, probably definitely until midnight, 1 o'clock, you'd be reviewing with your client, right? So it's difficult to go through all of that and decide what's the best. I'm sure a lot of them are really similar, right? So
one question,
yeah.
Christine, what happened if the infection for the house, if it crack or something, is unsafety? Is the owner reviews the, you know, something? That's not fair. No, that is something wrong. If they crack, something falling down or something.
Yeah.
And there's no safety, so they have to check for the inspector. No.
So the seller is giving you the report and it says there's something.
No. You go.
If I go and I see something unsafe, yeah.
And they don't want to let the inspection guy there. So then
They don't want to let the inspection guy there.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to tell them. It's not a formal inspection we're doing. So all I do is I book a buyer visit. And a lot of the inspectors are doing a walkthrough. Yeah, what they call just a buyer walkthrough. So you can call them and say, I have a buyer, he's really interested, he's concerned about something, and I'm going to book a buyer visit. Can you come for this half hour, 4 to 4:30 tomorrow with me? And they have prices, because a lot of these poor home inspectors are losing a lot of business right now because we don't have the inspection clause in. So I find that they're much more flexible to come for a buyer walkthrough now. Whereas before they'd say, oh, no, because they were so busy with home inspections, right? And they're doing the pre-list inspection for the sellers. So Yeah.
Sometimes when the people walking,
Mhm.
not buying or selling right now.
Mhm.
So main time is spreading down, saying head and the head and bleeding everything. Who is responsible? The owner, no?
Yeah, the owner's insurance would cover that if somebody got injured for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some bad situation also, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Let allow some restriction.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, so I know, difficult market to work in. I don't know. I like it when things are chill and we do the home inspection and you know, I miss those days.
Coverage, those kind of things too. Tenant insurance, because the home has a home inspector, home insurance or tenant insurance, no?
So the tenant's insurance, they have to have liability as well. But the owner also has a certain amount that covers if anybody get injured on the property or something happens. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That would be home insurance that would cover it. If it's the fault of the property, yeah, for sure. Like a chunk falls on someone's head or something. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's what he was talking. He specifically used that as an example. That's why I said that.
So I know mostly.
Yeah.
Even I ask other people also know this one way we all get more experience.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
People think something fell down, who will take care, you know, that was there.
Mhm.
Still for question. They are paying something other law, never know.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's tenant insurance, they ask me who live there, oh, Christine, see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's cover only for us.
Yeah, but it also covers if guests come.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. If the mailman slips and falls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's due to something that's not your fault. So like if you don't clear your ice, your insurance isn't going to cover that. If your mailman slips and falls.
Yeah.
But if I don't know, if the eaves all of a sudden popped off the nail or something that was like faulty. Yeah. I'm sure home insurance would cover that. Yeah. So yeah. All right. All right, everyone. Very nice seeing you this week. I will talk to you guys soon. I have next Tuesday morning, well, Thursday nights, I've started training for newer agents. I've kind of just called it newer agents. Everybody's welcome to join. I'm trying to brush up on all the skills, preparing offers, Authentisign, where to find leads, and you know, different things, just going back to the basics. Next Tuesday, the 8th, I have a mortgage lady coming in. She spoke to us last year. And she's going to talk to us about purchase plus improvements, which is a really hot topic right now because a lot of these homes people are flipping, right? We're buying them and our clients want to flip them and maybe they can't front the cost of those renovations. So purchase plus improvements. Plus she's going to go over the rates again. I'm asking all the mortgage people who come talk to us this year, kind of give us what they think and what their predictions are for the rates. I know we already heard from one guy. Now we're going to hear from this lady. So definitely tune in next Tuesday. And I hopefully see you guys Thursday evening for training. All right. Everybody take care. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.